The following is the class on Bhagavad Gita as it is, Chapter 4, Text number 34, given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on 12th August 1966 in New York.
Shri Gurun Vaishnava Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnana jnanina taptadarshan. Now this verse we are discussing in our last meeting. Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna, had concluded that all kinds of sacrifices that we are expected to do, the best sacrifice is to acquire knowledge. Acquire knowledge. Because whole our this material conditioned life is due to ignorance. Therefore, the purpose of sacrifice, penance, yoga, and philosophical discussion, everything, the ultimate aim is to acquire knowledge. And even in that knowledge field also, of course, transcendental knowledge, as we have discussed already, they are viewed in three different angles of vision. The knowledge of Brahmavad or impersonal absolute truth, and the knowledge of Paramatma, the localized super soul, and the knowledge of Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of God. There are different stages of development of knowledge. But the first beginning knowledge is that we must understand that I am not this body. I am spirit soul, and my aim of life should be how to get out of this material entanglement. That is knowledge. That is the beginning of knowledge. And that knowledge, when develops gradually, the first perception knowledge is impersonal Brahma realization, and the next stage is the super soul realization, and the last stage is realization of the Supreme Personality of God. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, we have got this information that the tattva, that the absolute truth, is realized in three visions. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Samdate. Brahma means impersonal absolute truth, and Paramatma means super soul, and Bhagavan means the Supreme Personality of God. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. You will find in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishnastu Bhagavan Sayam. There are descriptions of different manifestation of Vishnu or God, because God expands himself in various ways. We are also expansion of God. So similarly, there are degrees of expansion, and the central point or the primal Lord is Sri Krishna. We have got evidences from various Vedic literature that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. The Bhagavad confirmed ete changsakala punsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Sam. That there is a list of incarnation of Godhead. There are many thousands and thousands of incarnation, and there is a list, especially in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a specific list. Now, after giving that list, the conclusion is made that ete changsakala purusha Krishnastu Bhagavansa. Now, we are given the list, the author of the Srimad Bhagavad. But all these the incarnation of Godhead, they are either plenary manifestation or manifestation of the plenary manifestation. Like ete chamsa. Amsa means plenary manifestation. And kala means manifestation of the plenary manifestation. So, the conclusion in the Srimad Bhagavatam is that this name Krishna, which is given here, because Krishna also appeared, he proclaimed himself that that jada jada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata tadatmanam srijamaham. So he is accepted as the original Supreme Personality of God. Similarly, in Brahma Samhita, another Vedic literature, that is also confirmed that Ishara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Radhi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. There are many gods. Many gods means in one sense we are also God. God means controller. That's all. God, the literally meaning of God, this word is controller, Ishara. So every one of us has some controlling capacity. Everyone. Either we control the family, I control the office, we control the state, we control the municipality, or so on, so on. Everyone is a controller. But nobody is the supreme controller. Similarly, if you go on, make your progress, then you come to the Brahma. Brahma is the controller of this whole universe. And there are many innumerable universes and innumerable Brahma also. And their controller is the Garbhodasai Vishnu. And the Garbhodasai Vishnu is controlled by Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu is controlled by Sankarshan. And Sankarshan is controlled by Narayan. And Narayan is controlled by Vasudev. And Vasudev is controlled by Baladev. And Baladev is controlled by Krishna. Therefore, you will find in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna says, Matta paratara nannadasti kinchid dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, there is nobody greater than me. And Arjuna also accepted that you are asamorpha. Nobody is equal to you and nobody is greater than you. And our Goswamis in Vrindavan, there were 6 Goswamis. They are very good scholars, especially Jiva Goswami. They have analyzed the characteristics of the absolute truth, personality of Godhead, and they have established that Krishna has got all the transcendental qualities of Godhead in Krishna. And in Narayana, there are 94% of the transcendental qualities of the absolute truth. Similarly, in Lord Shiva, there is 84% of all the transcendental qualities of the absolute truth. And in living being, as we are, we have got 78% of the transcendental qualities that is also in fraction, not in full. So there are some scholars' analytical study like this. Now, the point is that Krishna says that all kinds of sacrifices, whatever sacrifice you can undertake, there are different kinds of mentioned. Drabya yoga, jnana yoga, yoga yoga, so many. There are different types of yoga. But here, Krishna concludes all the different types of yoga. Sarva karmakhilam partha jnane puri samapate. Whatever yoga you can perform, that's all right. But that is the different steps to come to the point of real knowledge. Just like you have bought your Empire State Building here, and then 2-story building. So you go on, you go to the 25th story, then go to the 50th story, go to the 70th, 75, 80, in this way. Unless you reach that 102nd story, that is not a perfect progress. That is also progress. Suppose if you have gone to the 85th story, that is also progress from the downwards. That's all right. But the highest perfection of knowledge is, so far we study from the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan amanga prapaddate. Bahunam janmanamante. Bahunam means after many births of culturing knowledge. When he comes to the real knowledge, real, I mean the summit knowledge, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan, not the fools, but Jnanavan. He especially mentions Jnanavan. Jnanavan, Maanga Prapaddatu. Jnanavan, the sign is that Jnanavan surrenders unto the Supreme Lord Krishna. That is the highest stage of knowledge. Either you take it, grant it, just like Arjuna was advised by Krishna, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekang saranang brado. You give up because you are my very confidential friend. Therefore, I say unto you that you don't bother with anything else. Just surrender unto me. This is the most confidence. So, in all points of view, if you make an analytical study of the Vedic literature, the ultimate summit knowledge is to surrender unto Krishna. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan manga prapaddate vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlava. And what kind of surrender? The surrender is full knowledge. After scrutinizingly studying all the process of self-realization or transcendental realization, when one comes to the perfectional point, he understands that Vasudeva Sarvam. Vasudeva, Krishna is everything. As it is conferred in the Brahma Samhita, that Ishara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Radhi Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. Sarva Karana Karana means a cause of all causes. Just like my existence, I have got this body, the cause was my father. And the father, his father was cause. You go on searching. His father, father's father, his father, grandfather, great grandfather, go on. Searching. Don't think that because you cannot see just now your great grandfather, oh, there was no father of the grandfather. Don't think like that. There was. Although he don't think that anything which is out of my sight because I cannot see, so there is no existence. No. This conclusion is not good. This is not very intelligent country. Because I cannot see what is happening beyond this wall, oh, that does not mean there is nothing beyond this world. So everyone wants to see God immediately. A God you can see when you are perfectly qualified, when you are in perfect knowledge, you can see God eye to eye, just like you are seeing me, I am seeing you. But that requires qualification. You have to wait. That qualification is Krishna consciousness. That qualification means Krishna consciousness. This Krishna consciousness begins with Savanam, Kirtanam, Savanam, hearing. We have to hear about Krishna. Just like this Srimad Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of understanding or hearing about Krishna. Hearing about Krishna. Just like, suppose I came to your country, in the United States of America. In my childhood, I heard of it in school when I was reading geometry or something like history of geometry. I heard first of it. I did not come first of it. So hearing, when I understood, oh, that's a very wonderful country and it is far away, and if I go there. Similarly, as you think also about going to India, so first of all, hear, and not immediately seeing what is America or what is India. First of all, hear. So similarly, if we want to see God, then we have to hear. That is the process. Krishna consciousness process is first is hearing. Sravana. Sravana means hearing. Then kirtan. Kirtana means to chant about the glories, about the holy name, about the form, about the quality. Then this is association with Krishna. Because Krishna or God is absolute. He is not different from his name, from his quality, from his form, from his pastime. He is not different. So, the hearing and chanting of the quality or form or name of the Supreme, of the Absolute means our association with. Association. Direct association in transcendental quality. So, as we go on making association, then Krishna helps us to understand. Sinnatang, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a verse. Sinnatang sapatha Krishna punnattamana kirtana riddantasya avagrani vidhunati suhitatam. Krishna is sitting within your heart. Krishna is there, is acting as your spiritual master. Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru means the Guru or the spiritual master who is sitting in my heart. Chitta. So, Sinnatang Sakata Krishna. When you begin to hear about Krishna, then the hearing of Krishna Katha, the topics about Krishna, is Punnak Savana Kirtan. It is, if you do not understand, it will increase your virtue. Punnak Savana Kirtana. Riddantasta Avadrani. We have accumulated so much dust by our material contact, by so many years association with the matter. We have accumulated so much dirty things within our heart. That becomes gradually cleansed. Sinnatana Sakata Krishna Punnat Savana Kirtana Riddantaste Avadrani. Riddantas means the dirty things which we have accumulated within our heart. That becomes clear. That How it is clear? Viddanta Savadrani Vidhunati Suhit Pata. Sweet Krishna is friend of everyone, but he is special friend to the devout. That we will find in Bhagavad Gita. Samohang Sarvabhuteshu Name Deshasti Na Priya. I am friend of everyone. And nobody is my enemy and nobody is my friend. But I am equal to everyone. Samo means equal. Chetu bhajanti mam vitta teshu tema. But a person who is devoted to me and is in devotion, engaged in devotional service with me, I have got special attention for him. Therefore, Krishna's another name is Suhit Tatam. Satam means those who are trying for having eternal life. Because in this material world, we don't get anything eternal. Everything temporary. Therefore, it is called asat. Asato mam sadgama. The Vedic injunction is don't try to remain in this temporary world. Sadgamo. Just try to go to the eternal world. Tamasi ma jyotit gama. Don't try to remain in this darkness. We go to the kingdom of light. These are Vedic injunctions. So, Krishna, he is within our heart. Riddhantattva. Therefore, as soon as we become a little inclined towards Krishna, then from within our heart, he gives us the favorable instruction so that we can gradually make progress. Gradually, Krishna is the first spiritual master. And when we become more interested, then we have to go to a physical spiritual master. That is enjoined in the next verse. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattadarshi. Now, Krishna advises that if you want to know the transcendental science, then you just try to approach somebody. Pranipatena. Pranipatena, pariprasthena, and seva. What is pranipat? Pranipat means surrender. Surrender. You must select a person where you can surrender yourself, because nobody likes to surrender to anyone. It is where that we have got everyone here part with our whatever knowledge you have got. Everyone is part. Oh, who can give me knowledge? There is a regular propaganda that for spiritual realization there is no need of a spiritual master. But so far Vedic literature is concerned, so far Bhagavad Gita is concerned, so far Bhagavad is concerned, so far the Upanishads and Vedic literature is concerned, they do not say. They say that there is need of spiritual master. Take for example the Upanishad, the Vedic Upanishad. In the Vedic Upanishad, it is said, Tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva avigachet topiyam brahmanistam, this mantra. That if you want to learn the transcendental subject, then the first point is that if you are eager to learn that subject, then in the material world also, suppose if I want to learn the art of music, then I have to find out somebody who is a musician. Without having the association of a musician, nobody can learn the art of music or any art. Suppose if you want to become an engineer, so you have to enter yourself in an engineering college or technical college and learn there. Nobody can become a medical practitioner simply by purchasing book from the market and reading at home. That is not possible. you have to admit yourself in a medical college and undergo training and practical examination, so many things. Simply by practicing both, it is not possible. Similarly, if you want to learn Bhagavad Gita or any transcendental subject matter, here is the instruction by Lord Krishna himself. That Krishna himself, because he is the speaker of this Bhagavad Gita, he says that tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena se. You must go to a person where you can surrender your. That means you have to check who is the real person who can give me instruction on Bhagavad Gita or any Vedic literature or any scripture rightly. And not that to search out a person as a whimsical. No. You have to search out a person very serious, but who is actually in the knowledge of the thing. Otherwise, why you shall surrender? No, there is no necessity of surrender. But here it is said clearly that you have to surrender to your purpose. That means you have to find out such a person where you can voluntarily surrender. Without finding, your mission will not be fulfilled. Because very what is first thing is, just like Arjuna, in the beginning, we had discussed that point. Arjuna was talking with Krishna in friendly time, just like friend. Krishna was saying something, oh, you cannot, you are a Kshatriya, you are a military man, how can we give up this fighting? Not like friendly talk. But when Arjuna saw it, that our friendly talk will not make a solution, so he surrendered unto Krishna that I, Trishatteham sadhimang prapani. I just become surrendered a disciple unto you. Please instruct me what is my need. So this is the process. Here also Krishna advises that if you have to learn, say for Bhagavad Gita, then you have to go to a person where you can surrender. Not only surrender, not blindly surrender. You must be able to inquire. Pariprashna. The next qualification is pariprashna. Pariprashna means inquiry. Without inquiry, you cannot make advance. Just like a student in the school who inquires from the teacher is very intelligent. Even a boy, a child, if he inquires from the father, oh, father, what is it? What is it? That child is very intelligent. Very intelligent. So inquiry is equal. So not only pranipat, oh, I have found out a very good spiritual master, very learned and very good soul, all nice. I'll surrender, then all my business finished. No. That is not, you may have a very good spiritual master, but if you have no power to inquire, then you cannot make progress. Inquiry must be there. But inquiry, how inquiry? Not to challenge. Inquiry not that, oh, I shall see what kind of a spiritual master is. Oh, let me challenge this and put some irrelevant question and talk nonsensically this way and that way. Oh, that is not inquiry on the point. Pariprashna means inquiry on the point. And that inquiry should be seva. Seva means service. Not that, oh, I have inquired so many things from certain such person. Oh, I have not rendered any payment or any service, so I get. No, without service, your inquiry will be futile. So three things. Yes, pranipat, pariprashna, and seva. Pranipat means you must have the qualification to at least to find out a person who is actually qualified to give you real instruction. That you have to do. That remains on you. Suppose you have to partake some gold as jewelry, and if you do not know where to purchase, if you go to a grocer's shop to purchase a jewel, oh, then you'll be cheated. If you say, go to a grocer's shop and ask, oh, can you give me diamond? He will understand that here is a fool. So, let him give him something. And this is diamond. What is this price? He can charge anything. And when he comes home, your relatives on what is your brand? This is diamond. I went to the grocer's shop. So that kind of finding spiritual master will not do. You have to become a little intelligent. Because without being intelligent, nobody can make any spiritual progress. Athata in the Brahma Sutra, in the Vedanta Sutra, it is stated, Athata Brahma Jigyasa. Brahma Jigyasa. Brahma Jigyasa means to inquire. Inquire about the supreme subject matter, Brahma. That requires a qualification. Ata means those who have become experience of this miserable life of this material world. They can inquire. They can inquire what is absolute truth, what is spiritual life. Athata Brahma Jigyasa. Similarly, in the Bhagavad also, it is stated, Tasmat Gurum Prabhaddeta Jigyasu Seya Uttamam. Seya Uttamam. Uttamam means the Udgata Tamam. That is transcendental. Tama means darkness. Anything of this material world that is in darkness, because this material world is dark. You know that the whole world, whole universe is dark. Therefore, there is requisition of the sunlight, moonlight, electricity. It is dark. So, Uttama means which is beyond this darkness. Beyond this darkness. That means transcendental subject, spiritual path. In the spiritual world, there is no darkness. So, if anyone is desirous of inquiring about the spiritual world, then he requires to find out the spiritual master. Otherwise, there is no necessity. For a man who wants to remain in this darkness for material benefit, suppose, I want some spiritual master, or I want to study Bhagavad Gita or Vedanta Sutra so that I may make some material improvement. That is not required. For material improvement, you can work. There's so many people are working, they're making, trying industry or something like that is the side. But if you are at all interested about the Brahma subject, the spiritual subject, then you require a spiritual master. That is clearly said. Tatmat Gurum Prapadde. Tatmat means therefore one has to surrender unto the spiritual master. Who is Jigyasu Sreya Uttamam. Who is very much eager to understand about the transcendental subject. So any Vedic literature, the same instruction he finds as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashmena Sevaya Upadekshanti te Jnanam Jnanina Tattadarshan. Jnanina means Jnani or a man who is in perfect knowledge. Perfect knowledge means one who has a perfect vision of the perfect, not theoretical, or actual vision of the spiritual subject matter. He is called Jnani. Jnanina Tattva Darshana. Tattva means the absolute truth. Now, so far Tattva is concerned, you'll find in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna is the supreme Tattva, absolute truth. But he explained that Manusalam Sahasreshu Taschidjati Siddha. Out of many, many thousands of people, a few people may try how to get a spiritual salvation. Not all. Everyone is not expected to hanker up a spiritual salvation. That requires also many, many years qualification. So Manusalam Sahasras, after many, out of many, many thousands of people, one is very much anxious for spiritual realization. And then Lord Krishna says, Jatutamapi Siddhanam, and out of many perfected spiritualists, some may know what is Krishna. Just try to understand. First of all, out of many thousands of people wants to have perfection in spiritual life. Then, those persons who have attained such perfections, out of them, one or two may understand what is Krishna. The subject matter of Krishna is not so easy. It is very difficult also. But one can understand very easily. That process is also prescribed in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhaktya mama vijanati javan jaschami tattataha kato mang tattato gatma visade tat anantaram. But bhakti, devotional service. That devotional service, if you accept, you can understand that difficult subject matter of Krishna very easy. Bhaktamam abhijanati. Abhijanati means perfectly he can understand. Javan jasyami tattva. Tattva means the absolute truth as it is, he can understand. And tato mang tattato gatva, and after understanding with the Krishna science very perfectly, he becomes eligible to enter into the spiritual kingdom. These things are stated. So here we are discussing this point, that tadvidhi panipatena pariprasnena tevaya upadekshanti ti jnanam jnana tattadarshina. So if we actually want to reach that point of perfection and knowledge, where we can fully surrender. Now, the intelligent person, according to my opinion, I have several times discussed this point, that if it is a point that after many births, when I am fully perfect in knowledge, I have to surrender to Krishna, then why not immediately surrender to him? Why shall I wait for many births? That is very intelligent proposal. If that is the end of perfection, then why not accept the perfection immediately? But people are doubtful. Somebody asked me that, and I think Mr. Moscow asked me this question, I answered this part, that his inquiry was how long it will take to be perfect in Krishna consciousness. I replied that Krishna consciousness can be had in 1 second, and it cannot be had in thousands of birth and death. Why? But if we understand this principle, that after attainment of full knowledge, I have to ultimately surrender to Vasudeva Sarvaniti. I have to become some Mahatma, a great soul like that. Why not immediately surrender to Krishna? Why not become immediately this supreme, the great soul, some Mahatma, Srila? That is a process. But we are, some of us, most of us, we are not prepared to accept immediately Krishna as the supreme. We have got many doubts. So therefore, in order to drive and dissipate all your doubtful idea, the Shastras, the scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavad are there. And if we make scrutinizingly study of these two books, we can understand the Krishna science very nicely, and our progress in the matter of Krishna consciousness will be definite. Thank you very much.